Is a Toyota hybrid really cheaper to own? Or is that just something we've all agreed to believe without actually checking the math? Ask most people why they choose a hybrid over a gas engine, and you'll get the same one-word answer: fuel economy. But that's only one piece of a much bigger financial puzzle. The real question isn't how many miles per gallon a hybrid gets. It's how much money it actually saves you. Once you account for everything you pay to own it, maintain it, and eventually sell it. Fuel is the obvious place to start, and it's a real advantage, but not an equal one everywhere. Hybrids shine in stop-and-go city driving. Regenerative braking captures energy that would otherwise just turn into heat, and the electric motor handles low-speed acceleration without burning a drop of gas. On the highway, that advantage shrinks. There's less braking, less coasting, less for the system to actually recover. A Toyota hybrid might hit numbers close to its EPA rating in the city, but real-world highway mileage often lands a little below the sticker. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Most buyers assume the battery is the number that decides whether a hybrid pays off. It isn't. For the average driver, the purchase price does far more damage to the math than the battery ever will. Toyota typically charges a premium of $2,000 to $3,000 over the comparable gas trim. That premium is the deficit you have to fuel your way out of before you save a single real dollar. So picture two people. Both buy the identical Camry. One drives 18,000 miles a year, mostly through city traffic. The other drives 7,000 miles a year, mostly highway. 5 years later, the city driver has already recovered that entire premium and is banking extra savings every month. The highway driver, despite owning the exact same car, is still hovering near break-even. Wondering where the hybrid advantage went. Same vehicle, same warranty, same battery, completely different outcome, and the battery had nothing to do with it. That's where ownership costs start to matter just as much as the price tags. At this point, a lot of buyers expect maintenance to quietly erase whatever fuel savings they've built up. Surprisingly, it often does the opposite. Regenerative braking means brake pads and rotors wear down more slowly, since the electric motor absorbs a lot of the deceleration work. Toyota's hybrid transmission, the eCVT, has fewer moving parts than a traditional automatic. Historically, that means fewer mechanical failures. Oil changes stay similar in cost and frequency to the gas model. The one added layer of complexity is the cooling system, since there's an extra loop managing battery and inverter temperature. But Toyota's engineering here has held up remarkably well over more than 2 decades of hybrid production. Now, about that battery. Since we already opened the door on it, Toyota's hybrid packs, particularly the nickel metal hydride units in models like the Prius and Camry hybrid, routinely last past 150,000 miles. Plenty of owners are still running the original battery at 200,000 miles or more. Toyota backs it with an 8 to 10 year warranty in most states, longer in California emission states. Replacement costs have dropped too. Refurbished and aftermarket packs often come in under $1,500 instead of the $4,000 or $5,000 people assume. Within the warranty window, failure rates are genuinely low. It's a real cost. But it's rarely the disaster the internet makes it out to be. Depreciation tells a different story, and mostly a favorable one. Toyota as a brand holds its value better than most manufacturers. And hybrid trims often hold value even better than their gas counterparts, because used buyers actively seek them out for lower running costs. That demand props up resale prices, quietly offsetting some of that purchase premium you paid on day one. But this advantage isn't permanent. If gas prices drop and stay low for a while, hybrid demand can soften, and that resale gap narrows. It's regional too. Stronger where fuel is expensive or emissions rules are tight. Weaker where gas is cheap and commutes are short. Which brings us back to those two Camry owners. Because ownership cost was never just about the car. It was about the person driving it. A city commuter braking and accelerating all day gets the fastest payback. A highway cruiser sees far smaller gains since the hybrid system does most of its work at low speeds. A rideshare or delivery driver idling and creeping through traffic for hours often gets some of the best returns on the road. exactly the pattern hybrids were engineered for, and someone who barely drives may never fully recoup that initial premium, no matter how efficient the engine is on paper. A few smaller costs rarely make it into these comparisons, but they add up. Insurance can run slightly higher on hybrids, since hybrid-specific parts cost more to repair after an accident. Tire wear is roughly comparable, though the added battery weight in some models can nudge it up marginally. Unlike a plug-in EV, a standard hybrid never needs a charger or home electrical work, which keeps ownership simple. Cold weather does dent hybrid efficiency somewhat, since the gas engine has to run more just to generate heat and warm the battery. And there's a quieter cost too. The money spent up front on the hybrid is money that isn't sitting in your pocket or invested somewhere else, which matters most to a driver who won't recoup that premium for years. So where does that leave the actual verdict? Hybrids make the strongest financial sense for high mileage drivers, especially in city or stop-and-go conditions, and for owners who plan to hold on to the car long enough for fuel savings and resale strength to compound. If that's your driving pattern, the math favors the hybrid clearly. If you're mostly on the highway, driving relatively few miles a year, or trading cars in every couple of years, a comparable gas model might actually leave you ahead, simply because you'll never rack up enough of the right kind of driving to recover that premium. Maybe the real takeaway isn't that hybrids are always cheaper. It's that the assumption itself was too simple. The moment you stop asking which car gets better fuel economy and start asking which one costs less to actually own, the whole calculation gets more personal and a lot more useful. Look at your own driving habits, your typical ownership length, your local fuel prices, and run the numbers for your own life, not someone else's average. That's the only way to know if the hybrid premium pays off for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.